Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me today for a 1954 Bowman themed episode here on the channel. Gonna dive into some cards from this awesome set. Love these oversized beauties, and someday I'd love to complete the set. But as it stands, I've kind of been picking up cheap copies, largely common players on ComC over the years, although I do have some decent cards like that beautiful mini Minoso that you see front and center there. So the cards that we have in frame, these are cards that I've actually shown on the channel before from the 54 Bowman set. So these are not going to be anything new, but wanted to dust them off because I did find a new pile to cover. So just going to flip through these kind of quickly because we've seen these at some point in the history of the channel. I tend to buy these, not exactly gem mint. Most of what I have is raw. I'll take some rounded corners or a little tiny crease here and there that doesn't impact things. Here's a nice Junior Gilliam for the Dodgers. Love that one. Joe Adcock. I mean, these are just awesome. They're oversized. It's the second year that Bowman did oversized cards after the very popular Bowman color and black and white releases in 1953. Followed up with these beauties. And recently was kind of going through some boxes, cleaning and organizing, and found my big old stack of these sorted of cards that I had covered on my blog back in the day, my sports card blog, but had never touched on here on YouTube. So we're actually going to break this into a couple of stacks and just do a real quick 54 Bowman rummage. And then at the end of the video, I'll show you why this video is called Box of 54 Bowman. So we've got some Red Sox to start off here. Jackie Jensen sitting in the dugout. Walt Dropo, who was on the Red Sox briefly in the early 50s. Sid Gordon. I mean, these cards are just awesome. Look at this Tom Gorman. Check out those specs and the Yankees uniform there. Beautiful. And this one's got like a crease, through it, but whatever. They present nicely, and that's what I'm going for here. I just would love to get as many of these as I can. It's a nice one here. Sam Mealy with the White Sox. Look at those stirrups. Awesome stuff. Got Gil Rice Jr. for the Browns. Another Red Sox card here, Sammy White. Love this with the catcher's mitt. Ooh, a little top loader squeak there. George Strickland with the Indians. Alvin Dark, the New York Giants. We're still, of course, in New York at this point. Pretty awesome. Bob Avila. Bill Goodman, another Red Sox card there. Looks like Yankee Stadium in the background. Ellis Kinder. So at one point, I kind of was pursuing a Red Sox team set before I expanded out into, really just getting as many of these as I possibly can. There's Murray Dixon, and then Willard Nixon closes out the first batch of those. And then I think I found around 30 of these that were all top-loaded. Here's a cool Bob Boyd. Received his 53 Topps high number from my buddy Peeps recently, and found out that he was the uncle of Oil Can Boyd, a childhood favorite of mine for the Red Sox. Cool Bob Boyd card there. I remember buying this one for about $1.25 on ComC years back, if you can remember that. Good centering. There's a little bit of like a scratch or something here, but I mean, honestly, this is a nice looking card front and back. Definitely missed the days when I was able to grab these at like $1 a piece in this type of condition. Fred Hatfield, Toby Atwell. That one I saw a crease on as well. Little surface crease. Cliff Chambers. Great stadium background there. Always love the background on that Cliff Chambers. There's another Red Sox Sneed there for the team set. Milt Bowling, who was the very last card on the checklist in my favorite vintage set, 1953 Topps. So his 53 issue is a little bit difficult. Al Brazel, looks like an old man there for the cards. Dick Gernert for Boston. Ted Lepsio, another Red Sox. So I'm probably fairly close to a Red Sox team set, but there's one big, pretty tough card that I'm missing that we'll talk about in a moment here. Del Wilber with Boston. We got Morris Martin, who for some reason, his name is typed. I don't know, they must not have had access to like a facsimile signature for Morris or something. I'm not entirely sure, but cool card nonetheless. Darryl Spencer here with the NY Giants as well. Here's a Brooklyn Dodger, Russell Meyer, one of the kind of low-hanging Dodgers in the set. Anyway, Sid Hudson for my hometown Red Sox. Johnny Antonelli, there's another guy with no facsimile signature and a typed name instead. And then this is the card I wanted to talk about for a second. Jim Pearsall, he's actually on the checklist twice. Same image on the front. And before we get to that, let's just look at the last card here. Pretty cool one there. But this Jim Pearsall, he appears on the checklist at card number 210. That is his card, which is what this one is. But famously in this set, card number 66, when they began printing, was Ted Williams. However, they lost, they kind of had a bidding war back and forth, or I'm not sure the exact details, but basically Bowman was no longer allowed to produce cards featuring Ted Williams's likeness. He was back to Topps for 1954. As those of us that collect vintage know, he was the first and last card in the 54 Topps set to kind of celebrate his return to Topps. So the Bowman card got pulled early on, and the way that Bowman dealt with that is they just double printed. They made another copy of this Pearsall that was card number 66 and began issuing that card in packs in place of the Ted Williams. So both of those cards are a little bit scarce just because neither was issued in as much quantity as all the other Bowman cards that weren't switched out at some point during production. However, the Williams is much scarcer than the Pearsall, meaning they pulled the Williams out of printing, relatively early in the print run. So there aren't a lot of Ted Williams out there. And as such, that 54 Bowman Williams is a really tough card. I don't own one. I would love to own, to add one to the PC someday or own one, but just hasn't made the list yet. But those are the 54 Bowmans I had to show today. And then the box of 54 Bowman part of this comes into play here. So I picked this up recently. It's going to be a little bit hard maybe to fit in frame, but this is a box that I found when I was on a trip with my wife. We went to the White Mountains in New Hampshire, spent a few days up there, did some hiking and stuff like that, and we visited a couple of antique stores on the way home, and in one of them I found this kind of cool box. It's got globe on the front. I'm not sure the origins of this or what it was used for, but it's a pretty well crafted box. You can see the curved lid here, but it does have like the I'm not sure what this type of joint is called. I forget if it's like dove joint or something like that. I don't think it's dovetail, but it's similar. So pretty much like a craftsman style wood box here, hinged. And I thought it was neat for obvious reasons because I immediately thought, I bet you I could hold some baseball cards in that. And you can see when it flips open here, it's sort of the perfect size to hold, I found when I got home, top-loaded cards. And even better, it holds the vintage style top loaders that are a little bit larger to accommodate the oversized 50s cards just perfectly. So what I decided is for now, as I kind of slowly build this set, I'm going to store my 54 Bowmans in this globe box. And you can see how nicely these line up. They come pretty much a little bit over the lip of the lower portion of the box, but definitely, with enough room here to close it up and not, be damaging anything or putting any unwanted pressure on the cards. They sit in there pretty nicely. So this is going to become my 1954 Bowman set build. If I do ever complete the whole set, I don't know that it would actually fit in here any longer, but let's hope that's a problem that I ever have at some point in the future. So that's my box of 54 Bowman for today. I appreciate you stopping by to join me and check out some vintage baseball here on the channel. Hope everybody's enjoying the early part of fall here, and I will certainly be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Until then, take care and enjoy the hobby.